Hey, we're here. Hey, we're live. We're here.
Hello.
How's it going?
I heard Crypto was at the Puppy Bowl.
That'd be unfair.
No, like for real, like they had a clip, both clipped.
Oh, they did.
Oh. I thought you meant like Crypto was like actually there.
He lasered all of the other puppies.
That's it. Yeah.
He's just a dog. He's not even a good one.
Yeah, I mean, if you let him loose at the Puppy Bowl, he probably would melt all the
He
other
would
dogs.
melt all the other dogs. Yeah, that's what would happen.
There was apparently a cut bit from the very beginning of Superman where like they're going to the Fortress of Solitude and there's all these dead abominable snowmans around.
Oh, really?
And Superman's like, Crypto, you gotta stop killing these Yetis.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
And
Wow.
they cut it because it's like the first thing that happens in the movie.
Yeah, you can't.
So it sets the tone all wrong.
That is a very James Gunn.
It
thing,
is.
though. Yeah.
And I do think it is very funny.
It is very funny.
Maybe
Yeah.
somewhere else in the movie.
Was it actually made, or was it just like,
I
or
think
like
it was
storyboarded?
He had to cut it, I think.
Oh,
I
it's-
think
so it exists.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So it should be on the Blu-ray release.
He
Yeah.
said he didn't really want to cut it, but
That also sounds like a very James Gunn thing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I'm sure James Gunn doesn't want to cut anything he puts in a movie.
No, that is prime trauma, like
yeah.
history going back in, like worming its way back in a little bit. So yeah, we're live. We're on the internet.
Open it up with fun facts about Superman.
Superman. Yes, absolutely.
Our favorite movie, Superman.
You're not that far off, man.
yeah.
It's a
That
good-
movie.
He is a good Superman.
The movie was.
Yeah. So, we're going to do a show.
Yes, we are.
I hope you guys like talking about video games, because
Oh boy.
There's more video games than we could possibly cover on our board of topics.
we're going to have to, pick and choose these video games.
Yeah.
We are wretch with video game
Because
here.
we also have other news too, and that
Yeah.
deserves being talked about.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a Valentine's Day themed intro? Because
Oh,
this
yes,
show
yes, yes,
will, in fact, be airing on Valentine's Day.
Unless you're watching it now.
Unless you're
on
watching it
Friday
now
the 13th.
on Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Hi, love you.
God.
I think I got.
You think you
Oh,
got one?
yeah,
You think I got
yeah.
one? All right, let's do this thing.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show for Valentine's Day. The day after, this one was right after Friday the 13th, which means you have to go on a date with Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the rules.
I've heard he's a sensual lover.
Yeah. But he's gonna be very tired
Yes.
because he will have been busy the night
a
before.
nice low key date.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe a nice paddle boat ride.
There we go. Yeah, on the lake. Yes. I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
I'm Cody, and I was gonna sit down and make s'mores with him by the
Yeah, no,
campfire.
that's a good one too. That's a good
Maybe
one
a
too.
sleepover in a sleeping
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
He'll tuck you into one for you.
Real good.
Real good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a great show for you this week. Thank you all for tuning in to Nerd Overload. And before we get into the news, let's talk about some things we have been checking out. Check it out!
I kind of like burlap sack Jason more than the hockey mask.
Yeah, I mean, Hockey Mask is more
Iconic.
iconic, yes.
I think
but
the burlap sack is scarier.
yeah,
Yes.
I could see that, I
Yeah,
suppose.
especially
I could see
after
that.
like a couple of movies got real cheesy. Like
Yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan and Jason X.
Yeah.
Both great films.
I like the green and purple one from the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one for me. Yeah.
That was Super Nintendo, right?
No, NES.
Was that NES?
That was
Okay.
NES, yeah.
Weirdly enough, Atlas made it.
Oh, weird. I did not realize that was an
I
Atlas
think I
game.
think I did remember that.
Yeah. All right, so things we've been doing this past week or couple of weeks here. I finally sat and watched Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, a movie that's been out for 10 years, maybe 5
No,
years.
no.
Is it 5?
10. It's probably more like 5.
More like 5? Yeah. So yeah, I finally sat and watched it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I mean, it looked visually, it was excellent, and it had a lot of the Sam Raimi charm. Plenty of snap zooms and stuff like that.
I thought it was mediocre to fine.
I
There's a lot of things I don't appreciate, like how it ignores Wanda's entire growth over the TV show.
It reduced a lot of the characters down to two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Like it turned
Absolutely.
Wanda from a full-fleshed character to I'm going to be the mother of my kids in every universe, no matter how much dark energy I absorb. It's like, I mean, I understand that is a key moment in her comics
History.
but it reduced her into a cartoon monster of the week villain, and I kind of hated that.
Yeah. Especially when they did such a good job with all of her TV stuff.
Yeah,
To just throw that away. Like Marvel is wont to do for some reason.
sure. But yeah, I didn't care for that. I didn't care for the way they they changed America Chavez's personality from the comics to screen. And in the comics, she is not a scared little kid running around. She's like an actual functional
Yeah, she's a much cooler character.
And in this one, she's just like, oh no, I get scared and then I jump from maybe 3 universes, because even though it says Multiverse of Madness, there's 2, maybe 3 that they go to,
And they suck.
and all of them suck.
I mean, there is that bit where they're hopping real fast through them. There's a couple good ones in there.
Yeah, he turns into a cartoon for a second,
Yeah, and
that's
also a
it.
Lego guy, I think.
and the Lego guy thing, yeah, but
It's like all the most obvious visual things that you do when
Yeah.
you're doing a multiverse gag.
yeah. It makes me think, if Doctor Doom's whole goal in Avengers Doomsday is to get rid of the multiverse, yeah,
Let him do it.
yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it.
It was a lot of wasted potential.
Yes, what it felt like was Sam Raimi signed on and was jazzed to do a really cool horror-centric Doctor Strange movie, and then Marvel went to him and said, this, and this must happen in your film, no exceptions. So he just kind of shrugged.
and phoned it in.
Yeah.
Instead of leaving like Edgar Wright did.
Instead of, yeah, exactly.
Or the Lord Miller.
Lord Miller, yeah. And the controversial take, I didn't like the Bruce Campbell.
No.
I don't like Pizza Papa.
It was another
Wasted.
cameo. They could have did.
His post-credit scene where he stops punching himself, looks directly into the camera and says, "It's over," makes me feel like that's what Sam Raimi was saying when he was done filming. It's over. I don't have to do this anymore.
Also, that mid-credit,
With Clea, the
daughter of Dormammu.
from the Dark Dimension.
That's never gonna pay off.
It's never paying off.
Never going to pay off. Well, you know what? The Fast and the Furious series is ending soon. What's her name? She's been in the last 5 or 6 of them. What is her name?
Was it Charlize?
Charlize Theron. Yeah, she's been Cypher, the secret villain / hero of Fast and the Furious. That series is ending. She could become part of the Marvel universe now, but
The
no,
family will never end.
it'll never be over. But no, they'll never go back
You
to that
can't
bit.
kill it. You can only slow it down.
Yeah, that's.
The spike strips.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the next one's called Fast Forever, so
They tap
It
into
is
the Speed
they
Force.
tap into the Speed Force. I hope the ending of it is a time loop.
Oh, and they go back to the original?
They go back to the original. Yes.
Like a Back to the Future
Like
2?
Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah, they go all the way back to the original, and
Final Fantasy.
yes.
Wait, wasn't that the one with the guys in the party car?
Oh, 15?
Oh, yeah.
15, yeah.
I always forget that one even exists. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Because
People only talk about Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 14. That's all they play.
Oh, they like to make fun of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause
Well,
15,
8 sucks.
Yeah.
15 kind of stinks. The story doesn't make sense unless you watch an anime and then like another movie and then like probably 3 books that didn't come out in America.
Sure. Yeah.
And
yeah.
somehow Palpatine got the reboot van.
Yeah.
That's an inside joke of an inside joke.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's what I've been doing this week. What have you guys been up to?
Mine is very ill-timed.
Do it. I
I
can't wait.
hopped on the hot free-to-play hero shooter, High Guard.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's fairly timely.
I was making a joke. Because, news.
Well, it's.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about it here as well.
I
They've
mean,
been
a
doing
bunch of people got laid off.
bunch of people
Yeah,
laid off.
the game has been out for
They're not shutting it down yet or anything.
it's not a good
Yet.
sign.
Yet.
Anyway, High Guard. New
High Guard.
High Guard. Oh, High Guard.
Oh, High Guard.
It's basically the same as Overwatch, too. High Overwatch.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like the same thing, yeah.
But, so, the quick and dirty, first-person shooter, hero shooter. Everybody has a character with an ability or abilities. You're on a open map that feels kind of big for what it is. And you're supposed to wait for the MacGuffin to form or spawn, which is a magic sword.
I wish they would just call it a MacGuffin.
Right?
The MacGuffin sword or whatever.
The MacGuffin device.
Well,
Yeah.
in Teen Titans Go, there's a whole episode where they're
About
fighting
the-
over the MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, yeah.
They're like, what is the MacGuffin?
Yeah.
But, and you have to take that sword to the enemy base, crack their shield, and destroy their 2 out of their 3 control points.
This sounds like every hero shooter game.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It sounds
Everyone.
like they
Except
kind
you
of,
can ride animals.
they kind of combined 2 modes into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of gives me Apex vibes just a little bit. Like it's not a battle royale. Everybody starts with the same weapons.
Isn't
Everybody
it
starts with the same.
Just like 3-on-3, too.
There's 5-on-5.
Oh, 5-on-5.
With the newest update, which came out Tuesday? Yeah, this past Tuesday, they made the 5v5 a permanent mode, which is the only mode I was playing. And they gave a new character who has like vague wolf powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Vague Wolf Power?
It's
That would be my name if I were that character.
his name's like Ericas or something.
I was going to say probably like Lycan Strong Tooth.
Austin Wolf Powers.
Austin Wolf Powers. Yeah, baby.
Michael J. Wolf with an E.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an okay game. I haven't really hit it. I mean, there are like when I sit down and play it, I do sit down and like play it. But
Well, that's good. As
But
opposed
I-
to just watch it happen.
well, I
the
mean,
game occur in
I mean,
front
I
of you.
did. I mean, there are some games where it feels like it's what I'm doing because I'm just getting mercilessly stomped all the time and getting
Yeah.
set back to the respawn screen.
Fair.
I also did watch 4 hours of Twitch of High Guard to get some Twitch drops.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fun.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Yucky.
Yeah, I just let it play on a charger. I wasn't even paying attention to my phone.
When Pokemon Go does that for Worlds, I will do the exact same thing.
That's what I do with every Twitch drop I do.
You just
I
set
just
it
turn it
down
on
and
somewhere and leave it alone.
just let it
Some-
sit for a while.
Some rando streamer gets to make $15 off of you or something.
Whatever.
Cool.
That's fine. Hey,
Yeah.
Cool.
part of the
I
grind.
got a cool tiger out of it.
Yeah. Hey, someday when all the other big streamers are gone and it's just us left, we're going to be those rando streamers that people are going to put on and then immediately walk away from.
You know what? Give me that ad revenue. Still making money.
Yeah.
Money.
You know what? I didn't turn it on.
Oh, yeah, neither did I. So,
Oops.
time out. 2 seconds. Time out.
Also,
Sam, cut this part from the podcast. Everyone, now is the part where we all look at our phones.
you make that joke every time we do
Every
it.
time, and it's funny every time.
Boom, just looking at ourselves, poke at our phones.
We are so cool.
Wow, I'm like not even in frame.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Crap. Everyone scoot this way a little bit.
I've been just out of frame the whole time.
Way to go, Wachowski. You're an award-winning podcast.
Okay, I would like
Am I in
to
frame
use
now?
my Prime sub.
I don't know, I got an
I
ad.
would like to
Yeah,
use
I'm
my
in
Prime
frame now.
sub. Do.
I don't think there's anybody in the chat.
Prime sub.
I still have mine. I still am Prime subbed.
Okay. My 4-month subversary. Woo.
To our own product.
Oh, retired Bradman says in the house.
Hi, Greg.
There. And now I've also posted in the chat. Okay. Well, and then I turn off my phone so that we don't get the.
Wah, wah. Wah.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, we are all now in frame. Everything looks good. Let us continue.
That's just in. We are professional streamers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I just remembered because you brought up a Marvel
Yeah.
thing that I did watch all of Wonder Man.
Oh, yeah. What do you
over
think
the
of Wonder
past
Man?
couple weeks. It was pretty good.
I keep hearing good things about it.
I mean, it's not gonna blow your mind, but it's a cute story about
At this point,
being an actor.
I just want a good story. I don't want it to blow me away. I'm fine.
It's not as meta as I thought it would be. It
Yeah.
really just is like
A superpowered actor
yeah,
Oh, cool.
trying to get a job in
acting.
in Hollywood while hiding that he has
Powers.
vaguely defined powers.
Yeah, they don't really because it's the powers aren't the point for him.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
story. Yeah. What did you think of the Doorman episode?
Oh, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really well done, and it was in black and white for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like,
because Doorman is in all black and white in the comics.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He is. Yep. His powers come from the dark dimension.
Like
and
Cloak
he's-
from Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. But yes, he's in all black and white.
At first, I'm like, oh, this is gonna take place in the past because it was something that happened a long time ago. But then it's like, oh wait, no.
No, that's
No,
Josh
this
Gad.
is- yeah. Oh, that's Josh Gad playing
Yeah.
himself.
Josh Gad lost in the dark dimension.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna kill him. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is when he's gonna die. Doorman's gonna kill Josh Gad, but he's just vanished to somewhere.
Yeah, he's
in the
just
dark
somewhere.
dimension.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's just trapped.
He's okay. He's back now.
That means this is the second Great Lakes Avenger that has been in live action MCU because Mr. Immortal was in She-Hulk. The as a throwaway gag, a guy who
Was he?
Yeah. He Mr. Immortal who dies and then he eventually comes back, but yeah, he was in there and he was actually played by a guy. He was in Groundhog's Day. I discovered.
Oh.
There's a one scene throwaway character, and it was this actor when he was much younger. Anyway, whatever. Cody, what else have you been doing this week?
Let's see. I've also been playing Eugenics.
Oh, yeah.
The new game by Edmund McMillan, the Binding of Isaac guy.
Mm-hmm.
It is very much in the same vein of like the addictive, like let me do one more run type of game, except it's got so much more going on than Isaac because it's a turn-based strategy game with cats, and you also breed the cats.
Okay.
It's like Fire Emblem, except you could only take the characters out for adventure one time, and then they go home, and then you decorate the home for their comfort and to
Imprisonment.
to make it more likely that they breed,
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Sure.
and then they give
Now I'm
birth.
getting the name.
Yeah. They give birth to the kittens, and then you take the kittens to try and get further on the adventure.
That's an interesting.
line.
It's an interesting take for a strategy game for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing you're breeding down like better skills and stuff like that, or
Yeah,
is it just
except
kind of
sometimes
random?
it just feels like a crapshoot because you don't know which cats are the ones that are gonna
Be good.
mate.
Okay, gotcha.
You can't even like nudge them. I'm like, you get like first you expand your house to have an attic, and I thought, well, maybe if I just put 2 cats up there, it'll increase the likelihood that those two mate. No,
No, nothing.
no, it's just random. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Oh, weird. Okay.
But that's kind of the fun of it. Like, what are you going to do with this hand you've been dealt?
Ah, gotcha. That sounds very Binding of Isaac style. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make the best out of the worst kind of situation.
And you can't. It doesn't let you get attached to any of the cats because after one run,
They're gone.
yeah, they're still living in your house
Sure.
until they get too old.
Yeah.
But you can also just like throw them away or give them to somebody else that after they get. There's like different characters that want cats with different attributes.
Okay.
So like one person wants, I want cats that have made it to the sewer level. And you give me those, and after you give me so many of those, then I'll give you a new kind of upgrade.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like
that
a
makes sense.
permanent
Okay.
upgrade.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's different classes, like character classes you can assign to the cats when you're making your adventuring party. So you got like your ranger, your fighter, your
Okay.
thief.
Sure.
You think they'd all be warrior cats? Got him.
But it's very good, and I've put in, I don't know, probably over 10 hours at this
Wow.
point.
All right.
Dang.
And
All
it
right.
came out on the 10th.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what's it on? Is it just PC
It's
or is
just
it?
PC right now.
Right
I'm
now?
sure it'll
Okay.
be everywhere at
Because
some point.
that feels like something I could put 1,000,000 hours into on my Switch, just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, I'll bet that's the first place it goes.
Yeah. Because it also doesn't, from what I've seen, it's not very graphically
Intensive.
No,
so
it's the same like hand-drawn art
Hand-drawn,
style
yeah.
that the original Isaac had,
Oh, the original Isaac, not the new one.
not the pixel one.
Mm.
yeah.
Which I always like the sketch, the hand-drawn look better than the pixel.
Yeah,
version.
I do too. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I've been getting into some like people have been making homebrew Game Boy games, Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Someone is working on, one, putting all of Binding of Isaac into the Game Boy so that you can actually put onto a cart and play
Nice.
on actual hardware. And the other one is an ongoing project of Undertale. Someone is trying to put
Porting
porting
Undertale.
all of Undertale onto the Game Boy.
There's no reason why you couldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
They've gotten through the entirety of the ruins and they're working on the snow level. Snowden.
Snowden.
The
Yeah,
bone,
it's called Snowden.
The Snowden. The Bone Brothers section.
My favorite joke in all of Undertale maybe is the fire door in the restaurant where it's like you cannot go through the fire door because you are not on fire.
Yes, there's a similar one where Undyne's house catches on fire after the cooking date, whatever, and you try to go back into it, and it says only fire lives here now, and that's like both a very Undertale and also a very Homestar Runner style joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they're working on it, and the workaround for the battle system, like when you click attack or when the guys attack you, the entire screen turns into the white block for the heart,
Ah.
and
That
then
makes
it flashes back to the picture of the
Yeah.
enemy.
And there's
So
a
I think
lot
that's
of
the way to do it.
there's a lot of like rotation effects that there's no way the Game Boy can do.
Yeah,
That they're gonna have to find a way around.
yeah, but at the very least, the demo looks good.
Mm.
So
I'm glad that Game Boy Studio is a thing that
I
I'm
know.
assuming that's what they
the,
are using.
it's all Game Boy Studio. Yeah, yeah.
I really need to sit down and learn that because it seems incredibly easy and powerful for what it is.
I have tried to mess around with it a little as well, and yeah, it does seem very intuitive, even for someone who hasn't programmed a thing in like 1,000,000 years. But yeah,
I use it to make a Believe side story.
hey, there we go. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch gears and jump into the news. That's right.
one more thing.
One more
Worth
thing.
checking out on Steam. There's a game called Agent 64, Spies Never Die,
Okay.
that I played just this morning. It's not a very long demo, but it is basically like somebody's making a new GoldenEye.
Oh, nice.
And it like even controls similar where you aim by like making a cursor appear on screen
Oh,
and moving
okay.
it around.
Oh no, I hate that.
And
Right on.
I like it. Like
Right
it
on.
feels different and interesting since every other game has avoided that from now on. And it's balanced around that too with the way the enemies move. But it looks incredibly authentic and plays authentic, and it's free. It's not going to be free forever, but there's a playtest right now.
Okay.
Nice.
You can play like the first 2 levels, and there's online too.
I'll have to check that out, see if it makes me sick to play or not.
Probably.
Probably will, but you know what? It'll be a fun 30 minutes before then. So, all right. So we have so much news. Oh my God, so much news here.
Yeah.
So much of it's video game stuff. Do we want to start with the video game stuff, or do we want to start with the non-video game stuff to make sure we get to the non-video game?
I feel like the non-video game stuff is shorter and we can get through it faster.
All right,
Yeah.
let's knock them out then. Let's knock them out.
Knock them out the box, Luke.
Yeah, there was a trailer for Spider Noir, the Amazon Plus live-action series based on Spider-Man Noir.
Who was in the Spider-Verse animated films.
Yes, and also comics,
Yes.
and is Nicolas Cage, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks great.
It just looks like 1930s Nicolas Cage gets spider powers.
And
I'm in, and it's
he's-
weird.
He's caging it up.
Oh, he is maximum Cage.
Yeah.
He's rattling the
Does.
cage.
He is in fact rattling the cage.
I'm glad you like that one.
I like that. I like that as a way to describe when he is full cage. He's
Yeah,
rattling
he's
the
rattling
cage.
the cage.
Yeah.
TM, don't steal.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. But no, it's going to be released in both black and white and color, and you need to watch it in black and white because that's how it's supposed to be watched. Amazon, they're cowards, and they're making them release it in color as well.
At least the color looks like if you took a vintage movie and then recolorized
If
it.
you
Yeah, the
if you were
saturation is
Ted-
turned
if
up a
you were
little
Ted
bit too
Turner.
high. Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
yeah,
Ted Turner.
you Ted Turnered it. Yeah. Well, it's the same. They did the same thing with Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least with Werewolf by Night, they released it in black and white, and then like a month and a half later, they released it in color.
Yeah.
Also, I'm disappointed that we've not gotten any more of that.
Or
I-
Moon Knight.
I have heard rumblings that there's going to be a upcoming one shot, maybe around Christmas, that is going to be them reintroducing Blade because the Blade movie's never going to happen, and it's going to be a one shot with Blade, Moon Knight, Werewolf, Elsa Bloodstone,
Man-Thing.
Thing, like the horror characters in like a one shot, and I think that's a perfect place for them to live because
That would be nice.
Yeah.
within but separate from the main MCU.
Didn't
Like
Elsa,
like they're doing with the Daredevil.
Yeah.
didn't Elsa Bloodstone just get released in Marvel Rivals too?
I believe so. Yeah, Elsa Bloodstone is one of those characters that everyone looks at and goes, "Whoa, she looks really cool." But
I don't think
there's no story. Like she has almost no backstory, and because they just keep throwing her in wherever to try to see if she sticks. It's like her history is all over the place.
This is the perfect kind of character for Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, but no, Elsa
Uh,
Bloodstone is like Marvel's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, kind of.
Deadpool was the last character they released.
Oh, Deadpool was, but they
Yeah.
they said that they're going to.
Mm.
She's on the docket, I think, something like that. Anyway,
We got to get through this news.
anyway, that also reminds me
Yeah,
of
30 days ago, Marvel Rivals first look at Elsa Bloodstone
first
gameplay.
look. Okay, yeah. So it's like, what if, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was Laura Croft with 2 shotguns and fought monsters.
I just like that name, Elsa Bloodstone.
It's a great
It
name.
is a great name.
It's a great name.
It is it's like Jason Blood in DC.
Mm-hmm. She was really, really good in the comic Next Wave. An incredibly underrated comedy action book that I wish would get more love. Because, and again, with her and Captain Marvel 2, the second Captain Marvel in the MCU, that's 2/5 of next wave in the MCU. So hey, get on that.
Right.
So other stuff.
First, they need to figure out how to make good movies again.
You know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think Avengers Doomsday, I think, is going to be the step in the right direction. It's going to be the final nail.
Yeah, it has to be good.
Yeah. I'm not saying that any of their movies have gotten bad.
No.
The magic isn't there anymore.
Well, it's clear that they didn't have a game plan after
Infinity War.
the Infinity Stone stuff. Like, everything worked up until that point because, one, it was new and fresh and everybody had great ideas for everything. And two, they had an end point. They knew, okay, whatever you're doing, do whatever you want, but this is where it needs to end up. And after that, what are we going to do? We're just going to flounder.
Yeah, they were
multiple
like,
universes.
They were
I don't
like,
know.
Kang? And then it wasn't Kang.
And then he beat up his girlfriend, so
Yeah.
they're like, Doom?
Yeah.
No, it's really seems like they're struggling because, it's like, Kang, no, Doom,
Galactus.
Robert Downey Jr., I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, other stuff. We have, well, this is kind of game news. Jason Momoa is slated to be in a Helldivers movie or series based off the video game Helldivers.
That it's just a pretty new game.
It's pretty
in
new.
the grand scheme of things.
And, I mean, other than go to planet, fight alien monster.
Or robot.
Well,
it's
what else? Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, Jason Momoa and Starship Troopers. Yeah, I'm in. Baldur's Gate 3, specifically 3, is getting a TV series.
Of course it is.
Through HBO, I believe.
Of course it is.
It's the same production people that did the Last of Us show.
Right. Proving once again that Hollywood believes that no matter how big and important a video game is, it's not real media until it has a movie or TV show.
I kind of hope they pull from the story from the first Helldivers game.
We're back to Helldivers. Okay.
We've
been on Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah, you got to keep up. We're moving fast. We're moving quick.
Yeah.
My
bad.
I agree with both. I do hope that the Baldur's Gate 3 TV show pulls from the Helldivers 1. Yeah, I do too.
I feel like a Baldur's Gate show will make no one happy because everybody's Baldur's Gate experience is different.
When you're playing a game that is practically D&D and there are a million different choices and a million different outcomes, having one show that, even if they don't say is the definitive run, is essentially the definitive run.
Yeah. How you
ruins everything else. Yeah.
How are you even gonna make a main character? Because in the game it could be anyone.
It could be anyone. It could be anyone. Are they going to give them that bloodthirsty thing that happens sometimes?
The dark urge
or
whatever.
The dark urge. That would be a good way to take it, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to work.
Are they going to kill the vampire, steal all his stuff, and then resurrect him, and then he joins your party?
Yeah,
it's like, they just want to make a live action Asterion. That's all.
Why don't you just make a Forgotten Realms show or like?
But it's because Baldur's Gate broke through the cultural zeitgeist into everyone knows what everyone knows what a Karlach is. Everyone's seen that red the red demon lady,
red muscle mommy.
The red muscle mommy and and Asterion.
So on the subject of a Baldur's Gate show, would Dristu Erden be blackface?
No.
They would just I don't know. Oh, that's the dark elf, right?
The drow.
Yes. The drow. Yeah. I don't know. If we didn't have more to talk about news-wise, I would get into that.
I don't think it's our place to make that decision.
I don't think it is either.
I don't think we're qualified to answer that one.
This is going to end up in the final cut of the podcast.
Nope.
All right. Mystery Science Theater is back.
Again.
But kind of different this time.
Yeah.
Because the Rift Tracks guys are doing it.
Yeah, they're getting a chance to try it.
Which, why not?
Are they still doing like the sets and the goofy stuff too?
Oh yeah, they're rebuilding all of it.
Oh, okay.
and they have a lot of the original costume design and set folks rebuilding it, so it's going to be
Cheesy.
and good.
At
And
this
right.
point, everybody who is not Joel Hodgson is involved.
Although he put out a very nice thing on social media saying, like, giving his blessing, which,
I would hope so.
yeah, I would
mean,
hope so too.
He's not that kind of bitter
No, he's not.
jackass.
And for all we know, he might also be involved
producer?
in some way.
Well, he's the brand ambassador now. After,
Oh, so he's the Miyamoto.
yeah.
Yeah.
After
He's the creative fellow of Mystery Science Theater.
Shout Factory's parent company bought the rest of the rights from him.
Yeah.
They hired him on as brand ambassador.
Yeah.
You mean kind of like what Nintendo did to Charles Martinet?
Exactly.
Yeah, that too. And that's, you know what? That's a perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
Honestly. Do you
He's probably just tired of dealing with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think he got a little bit over his head when he brought back MST3K.
He tried to do too much.
Yes, I totally agree.
What with the 3 casts and the
Yeah.
green screens and the website that never really
Really
worked
worked.
right.
Yeah, he did
Also
his best.
Yeah.
Also that disastrous launch.
Disastrous launch.
What
Didn't it like when they were launching it that night, didn't it like crash real bad or something?
I mean, some of the live show things had hiccups, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
to be expected with stuff like that.
Hey, listen, we know a thing or two about doing live shows now, and hiccups are aplenty.
Sometimes you'll have one person half out of the frame for the first 10 minutes of the show and not
Well,
realize it.
you know what? It makes it unique. It was an artistic choice, Cody.
That's the fun of a live production. You never know what's going to
You
happen.
never know what's going to get screwed up. But no, I hope I'm looking forward to the Riff Tracks take on MST3K because that was my era when I got into Mystery Science Theater.
Sci-fi era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a Mike and the
Crow
bots and
and-
Crow and yeah, I was there. Yeah, those last couple seasons.
I
Sure.
remember watching some of the Comedy Central era, but I was also too young to form like concrete ideas and concepts.
As a kid,
Yeah.
I thought Joel's jokes and delivery were too slow because I was used to Mike
Yeah.
and the other bots. As an adult, I can appreciate both because
You've grown.
I've
And your
grown.
brain is formed.
But as a kid, yeah, I liked the Mike stuff better.
And the Joel stuff definitely has its own charm
Yes.
that you're not going to get in this upcoming one.
Sure, but also these guys haven't been out of the loop of
Yeah.
movie riffing.
You're-
They basically have done it since.
You're definitely
Yeah.
going to get more consistent writing and better timing.
Yes.
The reboot of Mystery Science Theater seemed like they were it took them a little bit to find it again.
It did. Well, because they brought in a brand new host, they brought a brand new everything. And I mean, I love Jonah Ray, but it did take him a while to get his footing on that show.
Although that episode where they do I think it might be the very first episode when they do the song about monsters around the world.
Oh yeah.
When they did that song, that was the moment where I was like, okay, they've got something
Yeah.
here.
Yes. Oh, I agree. No, those first couple back had really good flashes, but it was really like the 4th or 5th episode when they finally got their
Yeah, found the
got their thing.
groove.
Yeah.
The Mac and Me episode was, I think, the first truly great
Yes,
one.
I agree.
Oh, they did Mac and Me?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very good. It's one of the Netflix ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, do we want to start talking about Vidya
We
games?
might as well.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. So the Sony State of Play happened.
Yeah, and it was it was over an hour
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I had to watch it with someone's commentary over it because I couldn't pay attention to it otherwise.
We could talk about the Nintendo Direct partner showcase they did beforehand.
Yeah,
first.
it'll take us 2 seconds. It sucked.
Yeah, it was awful. It was all ports.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Switch 2, the best place to play the worst version of third-party games.
Yeah, and also more amiibo.
Yeah, they did. There was a
Those
couple
Resident
of
Evil
Resident
amiibo.
Evil ones.
Yeah.
There's also that Mario Wonder amiibos that are coming too.
Oh yeah, those are coming soon. But yeah, but that was the Nintendo one.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
the only
yeah.
thing that I thought was neat was the first game that was the co-op retro anime looking one.
Yeah, that one
does look pretty good.
Orbitals.
Orbitals.
Yeah.
That one does look
That
a lot
looks
of
good.
fun.
I love that look, and like I'd be excited to play cooperative
Puzzle platformer kind of.
split fiction
style
game that's not made by that one guy.
Yeah.
Not that he does a great job at it, but I'd like to see somebody else make an
I'd like
attempt.
someone else make an attempt. Yeah. All right. So the state of play. There's one thing that is not on our board, but I need to bring up. They released 3 more characters for Marvel Tokon,
Oh, I
the
forgot about
Arc
that.
System
Yes.
fighting game. So this game they had originally announced Storm, Doctor Strange, there's Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel. And it seems like every one of those main announcements, there's going to be a team of 3 others
Associated.
that are associated.
Oh.
And that's how they're building out the first, the launch team. And if you pick so it's a 4v4, it's a 4v4. It's a 4v4 God. Take a
It'd be
breath.
cool if it was a platform
It'd be cool if it was
fighter.
a
I'd be more
platformer.
interested.
It's a 4v4 fighting game, and if you pick all 4 members, and you can pick any characters that you want, but if you pick the 4 from the specific team, you get bonuses, and their team-up attacks have different animations and stuff.
Yeah.
So they announced the X-Men team, which is
the Unbreakable
Unbreakable
X-Men?
X-Men. In the story of the game, something has happened, and these are the X-Men that Storm could put together quickly to put onto a team. That's why it's weird. It's Wolverine, it's Magic, and Danger, the sentient AI of the Danger Room turned into a robot.
Is that a thing that has existed
It
before?
is.
Okay.
It is a Joss Whedon creation from
Oh,
from the
no.
early 90s or
She
early
is
2000s.
she is Shi'ar technology.
She is Shi'ar technology.
So is Xavier's alien girlfriend.
yeah.
I like the character
The
design.
character
for
design
it.
is
It looks
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
She reminds me of Echo from Overwatch.
The dolphin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Echo
dolphin from the second
from
game.
Overwatch. Yes.
Or they should put Echo. They got a jetpack cat. Why not Echo the dolphin?
Hey, why
Right.
not? Why not?
All the stuff they're doing for Overwatch seems so desperate to me.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's for another
But that's for another
I guess.
time. Marvel Tokon though looks fantastic. It's
The art style does look very good.
art style's very, very good. It's from the guys that do the Guilty Gear games, and their stuff is always beautiful. It's very kinetic, and like everything just looks beautiful. The gameplay, like the hook, the gimmick, is kind of weird because the game starts with as a 1v1 with no assists, and as you progress further into the rounds, you gain more assists.
They show up.
They show up. Like
It's like
each
the
round.
One Punch Man fighting game.
Yeah,
where you have to
exactly.
wait for him to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of weird that you're not able to use your entire kit until you get 4 or 5 rounds into the fight. But it's still cool. It's an interesting idea, and it looks beautiful. So I can't wait to see what some of the other teams are going to be. I legitimately cannot wait for the Doctor Doom team, because that's probably where so far Doom's the only villain. Doom is the only villain that they have announced for this game.
Isn't Venom in it?
No,
Oh, I thought I saw
Not
Venom.
yet.
not yet.
They would.
He'll probably be part of the Spider-Man
Oh yeah, easily.
group.
Easily.
But I'm anticipating Squirrel Girl's going to be with the Miss Marvel team.
I hope so.
probably.
It'd be really funny if she was with the Doctor Doom one.
It would be funny if she were with the Doctor Doom team. Yeah. But like when we get to the Captain America, that's when we're going to see Winter Soldier and Black Widow and probably another
Peggy Carter.
Peggy, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool actually. Yeah.
It's cool to see the Marvel characters in an anime style that looks
Mm-hmm.
legit and not like they hired a regular American comics guy to emulate something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Like
doesn't- it
the
doesn't look-
Marvel Manga-verse
Yeah.
comics from years ago.
It doesn't-
Oh, those were so
It
bad.
doesn't
bad,
look
but
like
that
a
gave us
how to
Pe-
draw
that gave us,
manga book.
Penny Parker.
That did give us Penny
the
Parker.
spider robot lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The only other thing I'm kind of bummed about with it is the one-player story mode is they're cheaping out by making it just static comic pages.
Oh.
Like the story is comic page, comic page, comic page. Then you have a fight. Like they're not animating anything.
That's lame.
But you know, maybe they'll go back through and change it later on. I don't know. They've done it before.
It's better than nothing.
Better than nothing. It's better than what Street Fighter V launched with, which was nothing.
It's true.
So
Man, you were so mad about that game.
well, because they
It
put
was
out
bad.
it was an
They did a bad
incomplete game.
job.
They did do a bad job.
They released an incomplete game, and that's one thing that if there's one thing in games that bothers me more than anything else, when you're releasing a game, release it. Don't give me this open beta. Don't make me pay full price for a demo, tech demo, and wait a year and a half until the game's done.
Early access.
And
I'm
early
looking
access.
at you.
Exactly.
You're only allowed to do that if you're an
Hades.
indie publisher on Steam.
Yeah, you can only do that if you're Hades.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that did it right. Anyway, we have so many games. You guys start talking about games.
We got to talk about Castlevania because they
Castlevania.
announced a new Castlevania.
Yeah, Konami had a whole
Yeah, man.
block.
There's the new Castlevania. It's the people who made Dead Cells doing it.
I thought the art style looked familiar.
It has a very unique art style that, like, I'm not 100. Like, I don't love it, but I also don't. I'm glad they're trying something different.
I think it looks great. I like the look of it.
Yeah, I'm not as I don't have quite as much history with the Castlevania games, but I think it looks fine. Set in France,
Yep.
Yeah.
And
technically.
yeah.
They keep saying that it's Trevor Belmont, but that don't look like Trevor Belmont. That
It's
looks like
old.
Sonya Belmont.
No, I think it's old Trevor Belmont because the Kiro character you are looks like Cypher, and I think it's his and Cypher's daughter from the Netflix Castlevania series.
So they might be saying Treva Belmont, but they're just saying it wrong.
I mean, it doesn't look like Trevor to me.
It doesn't.
Looks more like Sonya Belmont.
But you only saw him for like 2 seconds with a hood up with a beard.
But there's a long braid.
There's a long
That's
hair
the
braid.
daughter.
They didn't say that.
That's not Trevor.
That's a
like
twist.
That's like the main character of the game, though.
I know, but if you go back and watch the trailer, you see him reading the letter and she's standing next to him. That is the Trevor Belmont is the one reading the letter.
Guys, if we keep arguing about this, we won't get to Rayman.
Anyway,
Who cares about Rayman?
No one does.
anyway, actually, you'd be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
I work with a guy who's a big Rayman fan, I guess.
No.
But
Is he French?
no.
Does he just have floating hands and feet?
Yeah.
Is he Rayman?
No, it's Glowbox.
Yeah. All right. Let's pick another game. We have so many on here.
The Metal Gear Solid Collection 2 is coming out.
Yes, Metal Gear 4 is not going to be trapped on the PlayStation 3 anymore. You can
Finally.
watch hour-long cutscenes on
your PS4
on your
5.
PS4, 5, your Switch, your PC.
Is this the one where he's like afraid of nukes? Or is that all of
No,
them?
that's kind of all of them, but that's 5.
That's 5. Okay, what's the weird rhetoric that Kojima put out in 4?
4 is the one where Snake's old and he's dying.
Oh, okay.
Because his clone body ages faster.
Yeah, it's breaking down.
Gotcha. That's why that was. Okay.
And that weird camo octopus suit.
Yeah, and he hump crawl on the ground.
Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame that you had to say that before I recognized
That's
which
what
one
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the bosses are latex ladies, and that sounds more exciting than it is in practice.
Sure. Well, it's a very Kojima sounding gimmick. Yeah.
And we're also
yeah.
getting Peace Walker, the sequel
Yeah.
to Snake Eater.
Which is a great game.
And they released an update for the Collection 1 that gave you a bunch of up-reses. So now the games look a little better. And not so bad.
That's
Except
cool.
for the case of Metal Gear 1, which I think an up-res actually kind of hurts the look.
Oh, really?
I think the big blocky PS1 textures,
There's something charming about those.
Yeah, I think that's just the way it's supposed to look.
You mean going back to Final Fantasy 7 and their little their big old Q-tip arms?
No, just the way the textures sit
I know.
on the models in Metal Gear 1, that was a very deliberate choice.
Sure. Star Wars Racer looks good.
Yeah, Lucasfilm or Lucas Games or whatever announced another trailer for their Star Wars Racer game, which is not pod racing. It is this racing Star Wars vehicles.
There is pod.
There are pods.
There are pod racers, yes.
Listen, Ben Quadinaros was in that trailer.
Yes, he was. And the fact that you
Everyone's
remember his
favorite,
name
Ben Quadinaros.
because the
Yes.
announcer said it so many times.
so
in
many
episode
times.
One.
Yep.
It looks neat. I don't know.
It looks fine.
I'm kind of burnt out on racing games lately. I don't know.
It's funny you say that because I've said before it looks like Burnout.
Yeah.
It looks like Space Burnout.
I'm fine with that.
And you know, that's great because I love the Burnout series. That's like one of my favorite racing series because stuff blows up.
I'll get around to it if I ever finish Star Wars Outlaws, the game that never ends.
Fair.
And that was on super sale the other day, and I kind of wish I had money to get it.
It's on Game Pass.
Oh, never mind that.
Never mind that.
Yeah, just download it on Game Pass. It's good.
And they also uploaded Space Marine 2 to Game Pass. So
Yes.
that's my weekend. Anyway,
Let's run through some quick hits on these.
There was a game where you're a big chicken man.
that
yes,
looks great,
Project Windless.
but like a serious game.
yes.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm a goofy chicken man running around. No, he's
No,
like,
this is not like Goat Simulator.
You're not like the chicken from Family Guy.
right. You're like a kung fu master who is also just happens to be like a
You are a
giant chicken man.
swole barbarian warrior chicken.
Sung Wukong chicken.
Pretty much.
Sung Wukong.
Oh, very good.
Oh my god.
Very good. Very good.
I almost lost it.
That was good.
I almost
That was
lost
good.
it.
That was good.
I was
Good night, everybody.
gonna say his name was General So.
Oh, that's a good one too. I hope that would be great.
Because it's
Yeah.
obviously set in some kind of Chinese mythological
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not even sure who developed this game.
It's probably one of those random Chinese companies that show up out of nowhere and
They're
develop like a really graphically impressive game
You mean like
that's just a
Black
knockoff.
Wukong?
you
yeah.
mean like Black Myth Wukong?
Yeah, that ends up just being like a Dark Souls knockoff.
Yeah, basically. And that's what this looks like.
Actually, this looked more like Dynasty Warriors
Yeah.
with the way
Oh,
you're
yeah,
just
Dynasty
slicing through
Warriors.
a million peons on the map.
That's true. That's true.
But you're a giant chicken guy.
You know what?
It looked,
I'm fine with it.
you know,
That's fun.
at first I was tuning out when I was watching it because I was like, oh, no, I don't need more of this Dynasty Warriors knockoff slop.
It was like, is that a chicken?
Yeah. I was texting you and I was like, chicken?
Chicken man.
And no, unfortunately it's not Benton Harbor, the Chicken Man from the radio show, The Chicken Man. Bark, 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 bark.
Nice.
Yeah. All right.
Is Sun Wukong gonna make it into the
Yeah,
radio?
yeah, it's going in
Okay.
there. It's going in there. So there's a John Wick game. When they announced it, I thought it was just going to be a DLC for that Hitman game,
Yeah.
which I think would have worked better if you are the Hitman and you're trying to take out an opponent that John Wick is also trying to take out.
That
and you
would
have
be
to
fun.
fight
Oh,
against
that would
John
be
Wick.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then Agent 47 gets killed by a pencil.
It looks
Yeah.
cool, but like John Wick, isn't John Wick kind of already a video game
Basically,
movie?
he basically is. But it looks like the Keanu Reeves actually did a lot of mocap for it.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like he is moving around.
I mean, he.
Like not just the face, but like his movements. And
It's not the
everything.
first time he's done a lot of video game work.
Wake up, samurai.
Yeah, Mr. Johnny Silverhand himself.
Yep. Yep.
That character is so cool. I love Johnny Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand's awesome. Yeah. Oh, what else do we have? Mina the Hollower.
Yep.
Yacht Club's last hope in not going bankrupt, Mina the Hollower. They actually put a nebulous sort of date on it of spring 2026.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, they said they'll have a more concrete date when they get all their certifications from all the different consoles in check.
Yeah.
Because that stuff's hard to nail
Yeah, it
down.
is. Yeah, it's true. It is.
But
There also is a demo available on the PSN.
Yes.
Which is a bummer because I backed it and I can't play the demo.
Yeah, that kind of blows.
Yeah.
that is kind of
Yeah.
that is
I'm-
kind of BS.
You know, the time before last, when I backed a video game on Kickstarter, I said this was the last time I'm going to back a game on Kickstarter. This is really the last time I'm ever going to back a game
Mighty
on
number
Kickstarter.
9,
I
the
would've-
gift that keeps on
I
giving.
would have guessed that this would have been a given because
Yeah,
Yacht
that's
Club
why-
is usually
And that's
really
why I
good
backed
about
it,
this
because
stuff.
because I looked at it and went, well, it's a game, but it's Yacht Club. Shovel Knight was so good. I'm gonna throw some money behind it,
And then 3 Shovel Knight spin-offs later.
Yeah. I mean, you're still gonna get it.
I'm still gonna get it, but
and it'll still be good.
sure.
I played the demo, one of the demos, and it was great.
The early
So,
demo,
like,
yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be good.
It's been taking so long.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like to give it a date, and then like was it like a week before saying,
Remove
"Oh, we're
it.
gonna have to push it back a little," and then not say anything until now.
Yeah,
and it's
that feels bad.
spring.
Yeah.
like,
and there's not like a specific spring date. It's
Yeah.
just spring,
like
which means
what happened?
something. And,
Something happened.
and it's not a graphically intensive game. It looks like a Game Boy Color game.
It must be. It's got to be huge.
It's got to
but,
be
like,
huge.
There's
Sure.
a story there, like something
Yeah. Yeah.
really bad happened.
You know what? In 15 years, when someone does a 3-hour YouTube documentary
The
about
rise and fall
the
of
rise
Yacht
and fall
Club.
of Yacht Club, we'll know the story then.
Maybe-
Yacht Club, the defunct land.
Maybe Matt McMuscles will get on it sooner.
You know,
I
maybe.
mean,
Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
We'll get a What Happened Mina the Hollower.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would be interested in that for sure.
Konami announced the new Silent Hill. Seems to be the year for Silent Hills.
Well, they want to do one yearly now. Which
Oh, gross.
that
it's not.
seems-
It is not the franchise for
No,
that.
No,
but
that's not it.
this game does look neat,
Yeah.
and it's Annapurna,
Mm.
and it's first person, which I prefer my horror game in first person. It's
You get
scarier.
Yeah, you get the jump scares a little. They hit a little harder when.
Yeah, it's definitely more intensive if you're just sitting there and you don't see it coming.
Immersive.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love
versus
the-
like in like old Resident Evil, like you're walking down a dark hallway and you see a zombie turn the corner and you're like, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, I love the first person Resident Evils. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that in Resident Evil Requiem you can switch between the 2 modes.
The one character is always first person, isn't she?
I think so. Yeah.
Grace is like the newer version,
She
and then
is.
it switches to Resident Evil 4 when you play as Leon.
Right. Yeah.
Is the conceit.
Yep.
Old Leon.
Old Leon. He's infected with something, right?
Yeah, it seems to be the
He's got fox dye like
Yeah.
Snake in Metal Gear
Yeah,
4.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
liquid.
Let's see. Well, marathon. Tell me about a marathon. What is
Marathon is the
It's
new.
when you run really far.
Oh, I hate that. I hate it so far.
It happened in Greece a long time ago. A Greek soldier took off. And... Anyway,
Anyway,
so marathon.
jokes.
Marathon is the Bungie's new attempt to stay relevant.
Well, a long time ago, before they did Halo, Bungie did a first-person shooter called Marathon that was basically Doom, but they put a story in it.
Okay.
And this has the name of that, but doesn't look anything like it.
Yeah, it looks like nothing to me.
Yeah, it has a cool space future look and
Yeah,
the cool
lots of colors.
Yeah,
Lots
cool
of
use
colors.
color.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't tell you anything else about it. Like,
Because they didn't say anything.
I guess it's like an extraction shooter. I
That's
think.
what it sounds like.
yeah, it seems like an extraction shooter. So kind of like your Destinies or whatever.
Which I like a Destiny. Like, I don't play it anymore because I just can't keep up with
Sure.
games like that. But if I had that kind of time, I would probably have seriously played Destiny.
Yeah.
Because the shooting feels really good, and I'm sure it will in this. But I don't know if I want to. If it's free to play, I'll give it a shot. But I don't know if I want to invest money in this.
No, I agree. I agree.
There is a server stress test later this month, they said.
Yeah.
The server slam, if you guys want to look it up.
Yeah, which I've never heard somebody call their open beta test a server slam.
Well, you know what? If their goal is to try to break the servers,
Yeah, that's a good name.
that's a
for
good
it.
name for it.
Right.
If that's what they like. Hey, come in, test our game, and let's see if our hardware can hold up to everybody playing it.
It's time to slam, and welcome to the jam.
Welcome to the jam.
The marathon server slam.
So, Santa Monica Studios announced something.
Yeah.
So,
Talk about it.
So-
Explain this.
Santa Monica Studios, the game developer for the God of War series,
Current.
current God of War series, yes, made an announcement that the original God of War trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, is getting a full remake.
And they had the original voice actor for Kratos there, and that man is a delight.
He is very
Charming.
dude. Yes, very good voice, very expressive, I would say.
Yeah, he was very, baby. It's God of War time.
God of War powers.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't like the fact that Kratos has consistently been voiced by black guys, and then they do a TV show, and then they cast a white guy?
Cast a white guy. Yeah. That's maybe not the best, but yeah. Anyway.
Hopefully this will look good, and a remake will make them feel more not so
palatable to the modern audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know if they keep the sex mini games or not.
They're also doing a prequel game, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah. Where it's Teen God of War.
Yes, it's called
Teen of War.
It's called. It's called. You messing me up. It's called God of War: Sons of Sparta. It is a side-scrolling, bit art style. I don't know.
Platformer.
But it's by Mega Cat Studios. They did Five Nights at Freddy's, the one where you time travel in a ball pit.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a big get for them, I guess.
Yeah, that's a AAA title that they're
Teen
working on.
Toast.
Teen
Kratos
Toast,
says
yes.
a teen. It's Teen Toast.
My brain keeps trying to think of how to do God of War babies. Like,
I mean, that's where it'll go next.
That's where it'll
It's
go
the only
next,
place it
yeah.
can go.
yeah.
Zeus, your son is here.
You're only going to see Zeus's
Kratos, baby.
You're only going to see Zeus from the knees down.
It's just some really muscular calves and
And
sandals.
in a toga.
In a toga. Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lightning effect.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
But wouldn't it just be? Well, I guess it could be Kratos, his brother, Hercules, all the other illegitimate children Zeus has.
The pixel art in that was not super strong. I didn't think it looked a little.
It looked like
cheap.
a fan game. To
Yeah.
me. It looked like a fan game, but it
Yeah.
might not be. It might have been an alpha. It might look better when it's all said and done. But
It is currently available.
oh well, then it's not an alpha.
Then
It's,
it is
it's
done.
available right now.
It is
just looks
available,
bad.
and it's $30.
Yikes!
Yikes!
$40 for the collector's edition.
Nope. Mm-mm. No, thank you.
You could take that $30 and use it to go buy Mugenics, which is actually on sale for $26 right now.
You could take that $30 and go buy me a pizza, which is what I'm going to do as soon as we wrap up the show. That you've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Go
Go ahead.
to the control sequel.
Well, you're going to have to do it in like a minute and a half.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that the main character is not Jesse Faden this time. It's her brother, and it's melee combat now. I don't know.
Well, one of the other new Control games had melee combat in it. The one where you're like a extraction shooter.
Firebreak.
Yeah.
But I trust Remedy enough to let them do whatever the hell they want, and I'll play it. But
sure.
I'm surprised at how different it is.
Yeah, it is very different. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I got a real quick one because this one's for me.
Do it.
Legacy of Kain's coming back, baby.
Oh yeah, Legacy of Kain. Yeah.
After 300 or 400 remasters.
Right. So there's there's a Legacy of Kain Defiance remaster coming out. That'll be nice. But then they announced a new Legacy of Kain game called Legacy of Kain Ascendance.
Okay.
And it is from what they've said, it is a side-scrolling adventure game. Kind of like,
It's like this God of War that we just
That we
talked
just
about.
talked
The Castlevania.
Yeah.
Studios have discovered they can spend less money and make a platform game, and people will buy it.
You know what?
we're going full circle, guys.
I'm ready for more 2D platformers.
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
if that's how we get Castlevania, then sure. Also, that's
Sure.
kind of how Castlevania needs to be anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't
That's a
really
bad
agree.
example.
I
because
don't like the 3D Castlevanias.
It's a bad example because that's Castlevania in its best form.
I was gonna say you don't like Castlevania 64?
It's not bad.
I
Skeleton on a motorcycle
It got a
and a
bad
sidecar.
It got a bad rap when it
It
came
did.
out because
Yeah,
people
it did.
didn't get it.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad game.
It's not a bad game. Yeah. All right, for real, we got to wrap things up. So you have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
And speaking of rapping, you can send us an email at staff@nerdoverload.com. Send us your hot takes and your news you want to talk about. Yeah, boy.
I'm Cody, and I'm here to say, give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline in a major way. The number for that's 412-345-1413. Leave us a message. We'll play it on the show.
Yo. And if you want to listen to any of our back episodes, you can find us on various podcast apps, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where all of our videos live as well. We have them, believe it or not.
Maybe I'll stream sometime this week. I don't know.
Maybe.
I was sick last week.
I've been sick the last couple of weeks as well, and it's been.
It's been.
And
1 week since we saw you.
It has.
It has been. Finally, I'd like to thank Parker for helping us out finding some news for the show, and David Pencil for our intro and outro. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
How long do we legally have to thank David Pencil before we don't need to do it anymore? Forever? In perpetuity?
In perpetuity. He was a very nice man when I dealt with him.
He did give us a good deal.
He did. So,
yeah.
yes. Thank you, David Pencil.
Yeah.
Also, that rap bit was the whitest thing we've ever done.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's the actual show recorded.
The whitest thing we've ever done is this show.
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah. No, that is.
We are definitely not crack-a-lackin'.
Yeah. And not white guy like the Beastie Boys white guy. Because they're cool.
Hey, we're cool.
Are we?
I thought we were.
Maybe in the way like where we're not trying to.
Where we're not trying to be cool, but we're cool. Yeah. That's a good point. That's good. All right. Well, I'm sorry to wrap this one up quick, but
it's late.
It's late. We started late. I slept through multiple alarms. That's why I have my cool hat instead of my cool hair showing.
And I'm very tired.
We're all hungry and tired.
You're the one with the hair.
I know I'm the one with the hair, and I have to cover it up.
Hey, I have hair.
Yeah.
Not as nice as Sam's, but I have hair.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I technically have hair.
Yeah. Hey, soon all three of us are gonna just be. It's going. It's going.
I don't want to look like Doug Trio's doing a podcast.
You know what? When that happens, when all of us are.
That's our Halloween costume.
That's our Halloween costume.
Year.
We're all going to get skull caps and we're going to be Doug Trio.
You need to be a low-end Doug Trio.
I was going to say, yeah. No, when we're all bald, we'll get the blonde
the Fabio hair.
The Fabio hair.
That is one of the funniest things Pokemon has done.
It's the best.
Right?
Yes. Oh God.
The wiggly worm one's funny too.
Oh, Wug Trio?
Wug Trio, yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah. All right.
I saw Wug Trio and I'm like, really? You guys are going to do that?
Yeah, they went full on with it, yeah. Wiglet and Wug Trio.
No regrets.
All right, let's go ahead and head on out. So we'll see you next week. Point, thumbs up, do whatever. All right, bye.